The other one.
Yes, we are live as well on Facebook and Instagram. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Thriving During Challenging, Demanding, or Focusing Times, or whatever you want to call it. I'm here with a very dear friend of mine, Lidija Rosati, and we are both on Instagram and Facebook, trying right now to master all the technology things.
In the Mac. Please. Mac. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this good now?
it's perfect. I can hear you very well.
Yeah.
Hi.
Perfect. No. That's good. Can you hear us now?
Yes. Yeah. So Catalina in Amsterdam and Lidija in London. Welcome.
Hey, people.
Awesome to be with you here. And it's a time where we connect from home.
Yes.
Not face to face. And I'm so grateful, first of all, that you are in my life. We've been knowing each other since I think 2008. Colleagues, and we became friends and colleagues, NLP trainers, and we had the privilege to be mentored, both of us, by Papa John Grinder, the one and only. And he had a very important influence on both of us, right? About the respecting and using and inviting the power of our unconscious mind in helping us lead authentic life, in moving forward with integrity, and using the best in us, and creating and living beautiful states of high performance. And we're going to talk about this and much more and other things on how to best navigate and become even more integrated human beings at the end of it, and emerging better than we enter in this period.
Yes. That is the idea, at least, or rather the intention. Because, as we discussed, like today, over the course of a few days, these times of so-called crisis offer a lot of opportunity. They offer so much. And while I'm aware that most people are hearing this, that, these are the perfect times, this is when we get to know ourselves, this is where we learn how to thrive, this is when we learn how to access all our strengths and all our gifts and our deep truth and wisdom. The thing is that sometimes when we hear that, it is all very beautiful, but the reality sometimes can be a little bit harsh. The reality of the situation is that we are really dealing with with pandemic.
Yes.
Okay. It is very real. Now, what we don't want, rather, is not to be alarmed. One thing is being responsible, practicing common sense, knowing what to do, connecting to yourself, listening to the inner guidance, but not being fearful, because the world has got a lot of people who are afraid. So be responsible is my mantra during these times, and we are all in it together and navigating the best we can. And this is definitely not about we know more than other people. It is about what we have been learning all these years, how we have been growing, and how we can share with one another the learnings, so that we can come out on the other side more conscious, more compassionate, more loving, more caring.
I feel that in a way, Lidija, we are like these athletes that have been training for years.
Yes.
They are now at the beginning of their race
Yes.
for the Olympic gold. And they just, all these years of investing in themselves,
Yes.
are put to test,
Yes.
showing at your best when needed, showing
Yes.
at your best. So even through your present, you can transform the experience of people around you,
Yes.
or even doing other type of interventions. But it starts with, showing at our best.
Yes. And
Yeah.
yeah, go.
And
Yes.
it starts, we're going to talk about the unconscious mind in a moment. It starts with the breathing, so mastering
Yes.
breathing. It starts with our physiology, both our breathing and our physiology influence the state we are
Yes.
in. And the state we are in, we know
Influence.
very well,
We know very well what happens with that.
influences what?
It influences our behavior. It influences
Yes,
our performance. It
that's it.
influences basically every single segment of our lives.
Yes.
And since you mentioned, both Catalina and I are NLP trainers, and we both have been personally mentored by Dr. John Grinder, who is one of the co-creators of neuro-linguistic programming and the guy who created New Code NLP, which we are great fans about, and partly because the New Code NLP really deals with the unconscious mind, where all the beauty and all the transformation happens. And so one other reason why John Grinder is one of my top heroes is that he is a linguist like myself as well. He speaks 9 languages, I speak 5. And more importantly is that he has introduced this concept to me into my life many moons ago, that our language influences our thoughts.
Yes.
It influences our unconscious mind. And just to bring it a notch down, in NLP, we've got what we call conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And the conscious mind is everything that you are aware of. You know, conscious mind is very logical, it's very linear, it's very safe, it is in charge of the language, you know, how you say things, how you frame things, how you reframe things. Unconscious mind
And
is everything else.
Yeah, and then on the conscious mind, it can process up to, let's say max, yes, up to max 9 bits of
information
at one time, and
yes,
the domain mainly on the left
side.
hemisphere.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is very much
For most of the
limited.
people.
Yes, it is very much limited in what it does. And it likes everything that is certain. It thrives on certainty. It
Yes.
thrives on knowing what is next, what is going to happen, how it will go, how it is going to happen. It is just basically not, it is your friend, you know, both conscious and unconscious mind, we need them, okay? The conscious mind kind of, you know, it wants to know what the unconscious mind is already doing.
Right.
You know, the unconscious...
And it deals to the narrow focus.
Yes.
So we focus our attention in an laser way.
Yes.
Very narrow. Certainty, because that certainty, right?
Certainty
is
it's logic
to narrowness,
yes.
Because the more certain we become of something, the less we see the rest.
The less we explore, the less courage and awareness and discernment we cultivate, because we know this is it and it doesn't change. Whereas the unconscious mind takes you on this beautiful journey of seeing the beauty in minute, seeing the beauty even in the hardest and darkest moments. It is there to provide solutions, only if you know how to ask it. And this thing about we talk a lot about communication and speaking and mastering the art of communication with one another, but our communication with one another will very much depend on how we communicate with ourselves and on the connection we have with ourselves. So like the responsibility we carry for ourselves, to ourselves, and how us, how me, you, another influence with our behaviors others. We cannot save the world or humanity or help others unless we first go within and create this link, this two-way communication, between ourselves. So when I say let's be responsible but not fearful, let's be informed, because conscious mind, the left brain, it loves to know, it loves information, it wants to collect everything, and then it goes with anxiety and alarm. So let's stay informed but not alarmed.
And speaking about inform and for speaking about left brain, so let's honor people that appreciate more. Hi, Laura. Very nice seeing you. Laura Spicer from Richard Bandler's club. Very good to see you. Hi, as well. Left brain wants to know.
Yes.
And let's tell them a little bit about the right brain and the right hemisphere. The right hemisphere is more intimately connected with the unconscious. Hi, Relika. And with the automatic system for regulating the body and its level of arousal, automatic control of the heart rate or endocrine function. And that's very important. And it's also more involved with response to the new, the uncertain. And the emotionally demanding. So it's very vigilant with this. It's responsible. It's let's say with non-verbal communication.
And it knows. It knows how to feel things.
It knows if you lie.
It knows if you lie. It knows if you're telling the truth. It knows how to help you process the trauma, how to process the so-called negative emotions. It can help you navigate through these times of, as a lot of people are saying and feeling, very real emotions of fear, of anxiety. Anxiety for many people is probably one of the top emotions, or like regular, most dominant emotions these days. And anxiety happens very often when we are not connected with here, with us, with the unconscious. Because if we gave the unconscious mind the green light and said, hey, I trust you, you know how to process emotions, you're the master at this stuff, let's just do it, help me navigate. Start very simply, as if you would speak to, like, a 5-year-old kid. At a 5-year-old kid, you're not going to go and say, do this, do that, but you're just going to ask it, very nicely, very lovingly, asking it to help you, because it holds the deep inner wisdom with which we are all born and that we carry. And all the times, most people forgot how to cultivate this connection, how to cultivate the trust. And I know this, from my personal experience. I used to, weigh 44 kilos more than I weigh now, and I eliminated those kilos in a relatively short period of time. And it's not a secret, you know,
and you
how
kept
I did
them off. And you
and I
kept
kept
them
them off, which is very important. And I kept them off. You know, this happened like what, 5 years ago or something. You know, it doesn't matter. It's not part of my story. You know, it's just that for many years I tried to run only trusting the conscious mind because it was safe, because it was certainty I was after. I was forgetting that, you know, the unconscious mind is where the party is, you know. The unconscious mind is where the good conversation happens, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is for all of us, because the school system now is changing, gradually is changing. But when you and me grow up, they didn't ask about emotions. They didn't, and also neuroscience was not that advanced to know what's happening in the right hemisphere, and how can we have more activities to nurture this, and how can we nurture the mind-body connection. So we grow up being tested and performing to basically put on the throne the left hemisphere. Logical,
only this.
Exactly. And what happened, many of us got completely dissociated from disconnected. And all this intelligence, body intelligence we were born with, started to disappear.
Yes.
And as well, you know, being intellectually advanced would have been more appreciated by the society than having more of the body intelligence. It's changing because people are awakening, and people are starting to realize that, it's not how
our brains are plastic, and we don't have to be just one thing. We don't need to do just one thing. We can do many things. We can transform in many beautiful ways. And I do believe that, you know, with the expansion of internet and social media and information being available out there, and us cultivating as human race, cultivating this innate curiosity, you know, like wanting to know is fantastic, it's beautiful, but also how do I know something and how can I use it, you know? It's so beautiful.
Yes, you go.
How can I use it, and how can I create change? So when I create that change in my life for myself, how can I share it with others? You know, it's not so much, oh yeah, I need to do this and I need to perform in this way, and then whatever, find a job, do whatever, and this is it. And then I retire and I, you know, and whatever, I enjoy my retirement. Now, and especially now, I think, you know, during this Corona time, we are given a beautiful opportunity to get super curious about ourselves, about the world we live in, honoring what is here and now, and planning consciously for the future. I am a great believer of being in the now. I also love visiting the past, you know, because the past, for me, it's also a way to go and see, okay, what have I learned? How have I grown? What are the other areas of growth that I can explore and heal? And also looking into the future, not escaping the present, but just seeing how can I use my past and how can I use what is happening now to plan, create better for the future. So as you said earlier, with all the trainings and all the left and right brain and woo-woo modalities, you know, we are both healers, we are both trainers, we are both former bankers, you know, with a vast experience, it is not so much anymore how we used to do things. It is about all this training, how can we use it now? So over the past week, I went through motions. Like I would go to bed and I'd say, okay, hold on. Why am I not worried about this? Am I not taking it seriously? Am I being childish about this? Am I being disrespectful? Am I, I went through all the questions. Am I connected? But then I realized, actually, this is not my resistance to the reality and to what is going on. It is simply the inner knowing that I know that all this time that we spent learning, growing, and these are like many years of learning, growing, and transforming, have brought us to this, to be calm and aware, conscious and discerning.
Right. And
it's very important. These times call for calm, because getting involved in the collective anxiety, collective hypnosis, collective panic is not going to bring us a lot of good. We are not going to be able to, we are not learning anything from it. We would be going to a default behavior, the old patterns,
Yeah. And there are different ways to reach the destination.
Yes.
And I believe absolutely having unconscious on board in a strategic and respectful way, it's very important for us to live, very good lives.
Yes.
And one of the things that is very important, and hi, Ashrafi, yeah, this is a good moment for all of us to come closer to our Creator, whatever it means to everybody,
Yes.
divine or universe or higher intelligence. Absolutely, absolutely. But using you mentioned at the beginning of conversation about the power of language.
Yes.
And you are also the queen of reframing.
Yes.
I love reframing.
It's very beautiful,
Very important.
because the language really influences.
Absolutely. So if I tell you, I am so pissed of you, I am so angry of you, or,
I'm so glad, Catalina, you're angry, because, there is an opportunity for you to explore something, to see what is out there, which means that you don't want to be angry anymore. You want to be happy, joyful, light, whatever.
Wonderful. So that is reframing.
But I have another little thing about
another reframing for the context.
For the context that we are in. So you see, when we watch the television, we watch the news, it's important to be informed, okay? And the media, albeit with all their amazing intentions to keep us grounded and safe and protected and stay at home and, to flatten the curve, I salute that. They also use this sensationalist, scary language. I understand the point behind it. It works. And it works because most people, I was one of those people, we know how to respond really well to fear. Fear, anxiety, panic. Those are all emotions that we are super familiar with. We are not so much familiar with like calm and love and loving kindness. It's something that,
it's a more natural way.
It's more natural way. So when you watch, all these news and the word like quarantine and self-isolation, it's really scary, and think about like, if you eat junk food, you're going to get fat. Or you're going to get, maybe you won't get fat, but you'll get like unhealthy. You're putting garbage in your body.
Yes.
Think about what exposing yourself to the content that is continuously scaremongering can do to your unconscious mind, because our unconscious mind learns like a little baby. It takes everything like a sponge. It doesn't have this, this is good or this is bad. It hears and it says, okay, thank you very much. And it processes it in the way it knows how. So if you feed yourself information that is scary, panicky, whatever, apocalyptic, you're not going to get up in the morning, say, oh, what a gorgeous day, let's just go and, like, you know, share loving kindness with the world. You want to wake up, you know, a little bit, you know, not 100%, right? You're not going to be like in a peak state.
And, you know, we have to respect, because there are many people who think that this is very important to be intellectually informed about what's going on in the future, in the world.
Yes.
And they watch all the news. They watch not all the news, but selected sources that are very intellectually accepted. But they don't. If they don't realize that they need to protect themselves of the emotional charge and stay at the left. And the problem with this is they consider only with the left brain, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm focusing on this and nothing goes to me. And this is a danger, because especially with this kind of people, it goes so much into their system, and because they are not in tune with their unconscious at a deeper level, the messages come as pain in the body, or mental anxiety, or
because they headache or a headache.
Exactly. Because this is the only way they get the attention of the unconscious, or they show attention to unconscious only when they're getting very strong physical signals in a way.
Or they have weird dreams, because you know, our unconscious mind you know, is in charge of learning, processing the information, but it does not. We put the words we learn from a language, information we hear. Conscious mind puts it in a beautiful narrative.
So my point is, if you are a left brain, let's say, and then if you are interested, you have a growth mindset, because if you don't, if you have a fixed mindset, this is woe for you, and maybe it's not the right time for you to listen to this. But if you have a growth mindset, and you think, okay, I am intellectually very interested in collecting as much information about what's going on in the world, all the graphics and comparisons, statistics, yes. Work with your unconscious. Get signals, and we'll get into this in a moment. And protecting yourself. So setting an intention, which is very important, to collect only what is useful to your whole system. So in this way, you're going to protect yourself as well. And when it's something that it reaches your, let's say, boundaries or your edge, then you get a signal from the unconscious. So maybe we can talk a little bit how to do that.
Because the unconscious mind does not know how to communicate with you in words what is going on and how to protect you. So you hear bad, alarming news, like serious news. You start getting anxious, you start getting panicky, fear creeps in, headache, whatever, indigestion with many people, loss of appetite or an increased appetite. There are lots of things, you know, like
injuries,
because you're not grounded, you're not connected. So our unconscious mind really communicates with us through what we like to call symbols and signals. Symbols in your dreams, like when you watch a scary movie, when you hear a bad information, when you hear panicky things about the quarantine and self-isolation, and you go to bed without checking in with yourself and your team, which I'll show you how to do it, you can go to bed and you'll have like the weird dreams. You're not going to have like a good restful night's sleep, because your unconscious mind communicates with you through dreams, bringing things that are ready to process. It filters what you have connected and collected during the day. In the waking state, it may bring a headache, a knee problem. All of a sudden, the hips, all of a sudden, your back hurts. All of a sudden, you are like, you know, there are all sorts of ailments. And a lot of people try to shut the signal. They shoot the messenger rather than saying, hey, what's this message?
They get
What
some
is
medication, they medicate,
people get
or some
medication,
shopping,
in
or
the good times, yes, in the good old days, before Corona, we could self-medicate. Something happens, a bad day, information you've heard you didn't like, something triggered you. You had a myriad of options how to calm down and make yourself feel better. And I don't so much believe in feeling better. I'm very much about learning how to be better at feeling, because when you learn how to feel better, it's flighty, it's temporary, it comes
and
and
what
it goes.
happens, because that's important, when you start feeling,
Yeah.
and you also add language that, for instance, I feel anxious, what happens, it calms down the midbrain, which is the amygdala, which is the place where we process emotions.
Yeah.
It's the fight, flight, or freeze response. So only the moment you start noticing what you're feeling and also putting language, it already calms down the amygdala, the part of the brain, and then you change your state, as we know,
because you are addressing what is. You are not running away. Now,
right.
I totally understand that in situations like this, in the times before Corona, we could go shopping when we get triggered. We could have a glass of wine. We could, I don't know, go do something eat or whatever, do something to self-medicate, to bury whatever wants to come out. Now, when we are in the situation where we need to spend more time indoors, some people have got limited space, maybe more people in the house, so that can sometimes create and influence the dynamic, the family dynamics, the social dynamics. So all of a sudden, you're faced with this emotional tsunami. So it's no more just one trigger. Now we are faced with whoa, there is a lot. And there is nowhere to run away from.
Yeah, and numbing.
Numbing,
At some point, we explode in the wrong context and with the poor person that it's
nothing to do with them.
So you want to avoid it. Yes.
So one thing I'd like to invite you to consider doing, and this is only an invitation. I'm not very big on musts or shoulds. I love civil liberties and I love freedom. So it's my top value. So explore it for yourself. When this quarantine, self-isolation, they are scary words. They influence our thinking and they influence our feeling. They influence what is going on, in our bodies, in our mind, and ultimately they will influence how we behave during the day. What kind of humans are we when we interact with others? So I've reframed the quarantine and self-isolation into the following. So it's no longer a quarantine. I accept this is a totally legitimate and official word, and that's absolutely fine. I choose how I want to see this quarantine, and I choose to see it with a huge amount of love and a huge amount of gratitude and a blessing in a way. So for me, it's no longer a quarantine. It is a date with me, myself, and I.
Yes. Wonderful.
It is a home vipassana, like a silent retreat, if you like, because I can choose that, I stay at home, I can spend time with my thoughts. It is my thinking time. It is inevitably, there are a lot of people who say, people talking about the strategies we should run during these times, what can help us. And some are like absolute gems. But I must say that I'm not so much in favor, definitely long term, for creating a sense of normalcy by keeping to the same old routines as we did before the time of, with ourselves in our homes, because the times are different now. What worked in the past will no longer work. And while, a schedule may be okay, and it may save you for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks or even a month, what will we do afterwards? If we consider long term, this may last longer than a month. It may last, a lot longer. So we need to get curious about ourselves, our strengths, our talents, creating time for thinking, being absolutely okay with boredom, because, when we are bored, we create.
Yes. So
Big things come from that.
Yes. So yes.
Before you go to bed, and this is like, I love doing this also. Before you go to bed, also find time, if you want, sit down and write yourself a love letter. Writing down all your strengths, all your values, all the things you love about yourself and about life. Write a love letter to each and every, a love letter or a gratitude letter or a blessing letter, whatever, however you want to call it, to every single person in your household you may be sharing currently. And this will bring lightness. I don't mean escaping the reality. It will just bring lightness. It will clear the air. It will open a different kind of conversation while we are staying at home. We can hopefully get closer to who we really are, rather than being, as we have been for many years, the mannequins of other people's desires and expectations and wishes. Now is like the perfect time. So if you want to do a weekly schedule, knock yourself out, go and do it if that really makes you happy and feels you fantastic. I personally believe that having schedules and goals and things to do have actually brought us to where we are now, in a way, because our schedules were overflowing to the point that if we scheduled a time for emotion, for feeling, most people would have been better equipped to deal with what is going on now, rather than, okay, let me just, I've got a slot in my schedule, let me fill it in. So sure, set intentions, create whatever it is you want to create, but create it not from the place of force and a must, because the unconscious mind does not like to be forced. It likes to be directed.
So
ask it.
Couple of things here. So this structure and discipline, it's important for kids. I mean, we went through it, and it's very important. It's part of development. So you're not saying that this is not important. Of course, it is important, but everything, it's like we are talking here about integrating, becoming integrated persons. So it's like in this particular way, how to use also the power of the unconscious. And we were talking about meaning. Nothing has a meaning except the meaning we are giving, as Tony Robbins says. So choose to give a meaning that works for us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And maybe before
it works for us, but also it works for others as well, because it works for me and it helps others.
Absolutely.
It helps the whole.
The point is of choice. And when we have more choice, we have freedom, right?
Yes,
and
of course.
With faith. So we don't have, of course, time to teach them how to get the message, let's say signals with the unconscious. But would you, in a few seconds, how to do it? Because there are different ways to do it.
There are many ways to do it.
Exactly. So let's give them an idea of how can they start developing the communication with the unconscious. And then once you have the signals, there are different activities that you
Yes.
can do to this. So if
Yes.
you can touch on this, just
Yes. One of them, which is it's the easiest and the gentlest one, like non-invasive, is before you go to bed, set a little intention. Ask the unconscious mind, what do you want from it in the next day or week or month or year? How can you access the inner wisdom you already hold that you may have over time forgotten? How can it bring about, while you are sleeping, allowing you to sleep deep, sound, beautiful, healthy, restorative sleep, to help you wake up in the morning and intuitively, not consciously, not programmed, not, how can it direct you to the feelings, or rather the states you'd like to experience more of? It's just one of the very simple ones. In other words, how do you want to feel? What would you like to experience? What states you'd like to have more of in your life that can be useful for the current context, the current situation, and also to help you navigate through life after the virus. Because while we are focusing on the virus and the current situation, we must also take into consideration the life after. So what skills would you need after Corona? What can you develop? What can you learn? You may consciously set an intention, which we do intentions consciously, of course we set them. But allow your unconscious mind to guide you while you're sleeping, where you'd like to go.
And this is a way of letting go of control. And I tell
Yes.
you, it relaxes you the body.
Oh.
It helps you to increase your immunity.
Beautiful.
It's
Yes.
just a different way of
Yes.
being in the world.
Yes. There is no control. Basically, what you are doing is that you are giving the keys to your unconscious mind and say, hey, listen, I am tired of this anxiety, control, uncertainty, fill in the blanks, okay? Take the reins, guide me, I trust you. And take it gently. Sometimes the transformation can happen overnight.
Yes.
Sometimes, and surprisingly, it can happen overnight.
Yes.
Seriously. And you'll be amazed. Sometimes it may take, some time. But one thing I can share with you is that when you discover the beauty of it, the time, the how, the when becomes irrelevant.
Right.
Because you enter the state of flow. You
Yes.
become connected. You become more aware.
Connected with the divine, with the creator.
Connected with the divine, with the creator, the deepest intelligence that is within you.
Yes.
And then you become more discerning. So you become more connected with yourself, with your body. So you hear the news, you hear something scary, you go, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this serving me? How is this serving me? And which part, or not which part, where did I learn how to thrive on fear? Is this mine, or does it belong to somebody else? Did I pick it up unconscious? Did I pick it up without thinking, along the line? So using what we have already is, I think, one of the most beautiful gifts we can give to ourselves during these times. And also have humor. Humor is like, it's amazing. During this time, all the memes that are circulating around are hilarious. They bring things into perspective. Also, you see things happening in Italy or Spain now, and the news about the deaths and stuff. Again, who do you want to be and become at the end of this? How are you using this? How are you harnessing the gift that we are all receiving now?
Right.
How do you use it to go forward?
Right.
So being more of who we are will soften the blow.
So listen, absolutely. And then I would like to use as well your example, because you have developed over the years a very strong relationship with your own unconscious. And what an important thing is, like in any relationship, if you have a relationship and you have an agreement with somebody, and if you do not keep your side of the agreement, the relationship is damaged, right? It has an impact on the trust. The same with the unconscious. This is more in-depth work we are talking right now. But the idea is that if you develop a stronger relationship with your unconscious in a respectful way, then it's also you as an in your consciousness, let's say your
awareness,
the awareness is to keep up what you promise to do.
Yes.
And for you, so because it was like also you wanted to release to universe many kilos a long time ago, and you tried many different things and it didn't work till you started to apply what we've learned, right? And harnessing this relationship and communication with the unconscious, and start using it in your life and living up to your own expectations, right?
Yes.
So you use that work.
I use it, and I use it for everything. I use it for everything in my life, and I use it for my clients. And like both you and I know, we work globally. We work with gazillions of people globally, and it is no secret that whenever we feel some kind of a blockage, whenever we feel some kind of a stuck state or stuckness, it is very often not the thing we immediately see. It is always buried deep within. So one of the questions, which is also one of my mantras that I use daily, is, what am I not seeing?
Exactly.
What am I not seeing? So whatever it is, we as humanity and on a community, on family, individual level, we are currently going through, it's very real. It's super real. We can't turn the blind eye. However, what we can do is turn that eye within. Look at what is going on and what has been going on for a long time. What have we been tolerating for a long time within ourselves, and what we allowed, what we were tolerating with others that maybe no longer is aligned with us. This for me, losing weight was one of the key questions. What am I not seeing? What am I tolerating that no longer serves me? And in which areas in my life am I not being and acting fully out of integrity and authenticity?
And that is where you used also the unconscious and probably many of your strengths.
I use the unconscious. The unconscious work is the basis of my work. The mindset change, big time. The language and its influence on the unconscious mind, and this goes deeper. And it's not, it's not an Instagram live thing, and we cannot share everything in 1 hour conversation. And also there are other things like, the energy work. I do a lot of energy work, and
Yes.
the energy work does help, and it's also very, very real. I use it for self-healing, and I also teach others how to do it, because honestly, I do believe that when we have skills and
Yes.
when we teach others how to use those skills, because those skills are available. If I know something and I keep it only for myself, it's not going to help humanity and the world. And I want to be surrounded with beauty. I want to be surrounded with
Right.
healthy, wholesome, integrated
Yes.
individuals. So if I teach somebody what I know, how to live a deeper, connected, conscious, loving life, then you know then that other person will pay it forward and teach others and others and
Right.
others. And I think this is how we collectively heal. and
Absolutely.
and being gentle, the unconscious mind, no human likes force. So
Well,
hustle gently. It's the title of my next book.
yes.
Hustle gently. You have to hustle, accept it, it's life, but do it gently. Do it gently, and and change daily, and transform often, and find a way to to really uh, to really know that, or cultivate this inner knowing, that we gain a lot when we dare to lose,
Absolutely.
but no longer
And
search.
let's finish this on an ascending note. And then we were talking a lot about reframing. And for me, this corona is back to basics and
Yes,
enjoying the small things in life and build, build, build.
yes,
And it's preparing for the next chapter
yeah,
after corona. For you, it's date with yourself, and then
yes,
vipassana, so an insight. What is it for you guys? Take a moment, go go within, wherever. If you like if you don't like to stop to meditate, and go into the garden and be with the plants, and then get into a different state, calm
yes,
down your brain waves, and ask yourself, what is my truth here? What is this corona? What does it mean for you?
yeah,
Reframe it. Make the meaning that is more empowering for you,
yeah.
because that it's going to help you help others, and it's going to help you elevate your life, and be healthier as well. So
And
choose
happier,
carefully.
and healthier, and more joyful, and
Yes,
really knowing that every cloud does have a silver
silver
lining. But
lining.
if you're not
Absolutely.
if you're not into silver,
Yes.
make it into a gold, make it into platinum. Do whatever rocks your boat.
Yeah.
You are the creator. We are all creators. So you design it. You paint however you want to paint it. And really, as our teacher Tony Robbins says, you know, your life is your life. Make it a masterpiece.
Right. It is.
You
So
know?
thank you so much.
Thank
We
you very much.
I enjoyed very much reconnecting with you, and I hope people would with
Yeah.
apply some of the teachings and some of the
Yes.
wisdom in their own life, and pay it forward, teach others.
Pay it forward. Exactly. And also I'd like to invite you. My first book, Gaining While Losing, The Gentle Art of Transformation, has exercises in it, practical
Yeah.
exercises that I aptly called soul strengtheners.
Yes.
So now more than ever, I
Yes.
really do believe that our soul needs to be reminded who we are and what we stand for, and how gorgeous and magnificent and magical we really are. And I love you guys so much. Remember to be grateful for every single situation, everything that comes your way, because it is coming to teach us and to help us get to the depth of the beauty that is, this beautiful Kohinoor diamond that's in every single one of us. So
So
thank you so much.
So let's do this way, because you are hosting me on Instagram and I'm hosting you on Facebook. It's so funny. So let's just thank you very much on the Instagram for hosting me, and to my people on Facebook and
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Facebook,
much,
for posting me.
everybody.
And thank you so much for, for taking time to join us and to be with us tonight. And
Stay healthy, stay happy, and
yes,
evolve.
evolve.
And
Never
as you
stop.
say
Keep
it,
evolving.
hustle gently.
And there is hustle gently. Hustle
Okay.
gently will
Much,
change the world.
much love, everybody.
Yes.
Wishing all the best to you. And one more second.
Yes.
Shall we take a couple of seconds now and then to send our
yes,
best energy to those people that are in suffering of corona in these times and their families?
Yeah. Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. And also set the intention.
And then send also all our love and vibes, good vibes to those that passed away and to their families as they are settling out into the new normal. And let's send our families to ourselves the much love and gratitude for being where we are in our life and doing our best and teaming up with our unconscious to help us navigate these times in a safe way and thrive, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you. We love you.
Thank
I
you.
love you, Lidija. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kata.
Much love to everybody. Thank you.
People. Lots
Bye.
of love.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Now,
Yeah.
mwah.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yes.
Yes.